Morning guys. So today's video I'm going to talk about something that we get asked a lot when prospects are looking to buy learning technologies. And it's this issue of a responsive website, or in our case LMS, or a mobile native app. Okay, so this is what we're going to try and clarify today. So first of all, I think it goes without saying that we all know that we're spending more and more times on our mobile phones. Indeed, this stat just blew me away, right? According to a piece of research, people touch their mobile phones 2,617 times a day. I mean, it's insane, right? So we're spending more and more time on our mobile phones. So the reality is that mobile isn't in any way the future of learning, right? If your learning technologies are not mobile first, or you're not thinking about mobile first strategy, then fundamentally you're not kind of in the room. So this is why it's really, really important for us to understand the difference of a responsive LMS and a native app. Okay, so this is what this is going to clarify. So there are, in most LMS environments, there's a choice to be made, right? Most LMSs, learning management systems, are web-based. Okay, so you can deliver that LMS experience on your mobile phone through what's called a responsive site. Okay, and what will happen is that web instance will shrink down to fit your mobile phone. Okay, that is very different than a native mobile app. A native mobile app is one that you go to the App Store, either Google or Windows or Apple, and you download it. And so a lot of the software is kept on your mobile phone, okay? And the experience for the learner is very, very different in those two instances, okay? So that's what I want to really clarify with you guys today. So the good news about a responsive LMS is usually you've got most of the functionality that you've bought in your LMS. If one page is responsive, typically all pages will be responsive. So if you've bought a talent suite or you've bought an HRIS off the back of your LMS, you will be able to get access to all of those things through your responsive website, okay? And basically what happens is, as we can see from the little graphic, it just changes according to the size. So if it's on the web and you've got a nice big, Apple screen, it'll be that big. If it goes down to an iPad, it'll be iPad size. And if it goes down to your mobile phone, it'll be that size. What will happen is things will crumple slowly, but it will be displayed on the page so that you can see everything, okay? So this is why it's called responsive. The design responds to the device in which the learner is actually looking at the actual website, okay? The next thing is, what is the definition of a native app, okay? Basically, the definition of a native app is that you are downloading it to your mobile phone, and in order to access it, you have to tap your mobile phone. You don't go to a URL, you tap the app icon and you open up, and a little bit of that software is actually downloaded to your mobile phone, okay? And there are other benefits I'll go on to talk about, but I think we're all kind of clear on, when is an app an app? An app is when you download it to your mobile phone. It also, the other important distinctions is you need to make sure that obviously all of the operating systems are covered. So it's not, you can't just have an app for, let's say, Windows, or an app for, Google, or an app for, if you've got, like in most of our customers and throughout the world, people choose to have different mobile phones. And so if you're going to have an app, you need to make sure that it can, be used in all of those web stores, right? The other thing is with an app is because the app is built for your particular phone, you will have access to more functionality on your phone. So this could be like stuff like GPS, it could be your camera, and with that you can make the learning experience more immersive if you've got a native app. Now, what are the pros of an LMS? Okay, the pros of an LMS is that most companies will already have their websites responsive. So you don't need to do anything, yeah? You'll just open up the browser on your mobile phone and you'll access your LMS, right? So by definition, that means it's less expensive, okay? The third thing is Every single smartphone has a website, so obviously everybody can have access to, the LMS. And the other thing is it's easy to make updates. So if your learning management platform is, born in the cloud like ours is, we make updates every Friday. So they are very, very easy to update. Okay. The disadvantages are because you don't have access to the functions on your mobile phone, like your camera, through the app, you've fundamentally got less functionality. The other thing is that you've got a requirement to have an internet connection, which means that if you're in an area that has poor or slow broadband, if you're trying to play a video or whatever it might be, because you can't download it, you could suffer performance issues, right? So that's another issue. The other really massive disadvantage is that it is simply not on trend anymore. So those companies that are forward thinking and forward looking in terms of their learning technologies know that the app is an app and a way of delivering learning. An app is really, really core to this. And as we move forward, this is only going to be intensified. So the reality is if we're not thinking about mobile first, we really do need to be getting into that mindset. So what are the pros of a mobile app, right? The first thing is you can make the UX look absolutely fantastic. What it means is on an app, you really need to think about the functionality that on the app in order to maximize it, because you can't have too many busy things going on the screen. So what you tend to do is if you see a responsive site and a mobile app together, what you find is the UX for the app tends to be superior, it tends to be cleaner, it tends to be more intuitive, right? The second thing is because you can use the functionality on your mobile phone, like GPS, like camera, like movies, you can then upload that into the app. So you get extra, deeper functionality. Also, because people use their mobile phones like this all the time, there is an expectation that learning mobile app will be able to use some of this functionality. So for example, you might give people the task of uploading a sales presentation to your mobile app, and they're going to video themselves on their own camera. So it just makes things a lot easier. And finally, and very importantly, imagine, one of your learners is wanting to access some learning and they're using the tube, right? Or they're using the subway or whatever. The reality is they're going to need to download those videos, or they're on a plane, right? What a mobile app gives you is the ability to fully download that content so they can do that work on the plane. They probably don't want to, but they can use that content offline, right, without web access. So really, really important. The cons are if you are a company that locks your mobile phones, you don't allow mobile phones, or you have a policy whereby you don't want work related things downloaded to people's personal phones. This is obviously an issue because there is a manual download process. That learner actually has to go to the App Store and actually download the app. Okay, so that is obviously an issue. The other thing is there is additional cost. There is additional cost because there's costs that you will get from the App Store. Every time it needs to be updated, there's a more lengthy period as you go out to every App Store and have to update that. The other thing is that there will be additional costs is if it is a native app where there's high level of engagement. So for example, on our LMS, people will be logging in, let's say 5 times a week. On our mobile app, people are logging in up to 15 times a day. They are posting videos, they are posting, comments, they're posting photos, they're basically getting in, and they are also using the app a lot more. So the costs will go up as the engagement goes up. But ultimately, that is the whole point of having a really delightful, exciting, learning environment for people to use. So ultimately, the conclusion depends on your budget and how engaged you want your learners to be, okay? So if you haven't got much budget and you are asking people to go in, look at a piece of content and then come out, then a responsive site might be the way for you to go. However, if you're looking for a really exciting, engaging learning environment that perhaps blurs the lines between corporate learning and social interaction, then what you should be looking at is something that is more congruent, more in line with the way we as consumers act. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get them to love their learning technology so much that they treat it like a consumer app. And so in order to do that, really, we need to be app first, mobile first, consumer friendly, consumer focused. So that's it from me, guys. I hope that was useful. Hi guys, my name's Juliette Denny, and I'm from a company called Growth Engineering. I hope that you enjoy these videos. I hope you give it a big thumbs up. I also hope that you comment and you give us some questions, because otherwise, how am I going to know what you want to learn about in future? So I want your comments and I want your feedback. And then most importantly, it would be really great if you could subscribe to the channel. And then when I'm delivering out new content, and hopefully I'm answering questions that you guys have asked me, you'll know when I post another video. So thank you very much. And thank you for being part of my learning tribe.